Alright, so when it comes to this channel, I've got about a 95% firm no free stuff policy. I know it's a massive first world problem, but when you do YouTube and you start accepting the free stuff, before you know it, you've got a table full of ThruNite torches and Kubi knives, and you're doing the latest Olight flash sale every other video. It's just not for me. Look, when I saw TS Prof though, who with a sharpener that turned my buddy Advanced Knife Bro onto the joys of fixed angled sharpening, were in my DMs offering me a go on their system, I thought, maybe I too could be this happy. So I doubt I've looked at a pile of components before and had such a struggle with mentally engineering stuff as I did when I saw the disassembled TS Prof. The instructions were definitely needed, and after a tiny moment of panic, I found the English instructions and got to work. So in this video, I won't be singing about how this box from Russia changed my life. I don't know that yet. I've sharpened precisely one knife with it. It's just a starting point. It's like an unboxing and a how it works and a initial impressions video, I guess. Look, I intend on sharpening 10 knives before I start to even skirt around the term review, and I hope to do about 100 on it before I start talking about whether it's better or worse than a KME, for example, which is my system of choice, I suppose, by virtue of being my only system for a long, long time. Anyway, once it went together, it's a very stout, all metal-based system. So everything on here is steel and aluminium, and it all kind of quite industrially screws together or clamps together or whatnot. The sacrificial knife that I chose was my Benchmade 945. I needed to remove the thumb studs to get a good gripping point on it, and that's not the sharpener's fault. That's Benchmade knife blade profile and everything. It's got one little flat spot to grip onto, which is what you need for a fixed angled sharpener. I put it just using the one jaw because the other jaw had literally nothing to grab onto, and I put it down the center line of the sharpener and got to work. It was a very badly damaged edge. That chip at the tip was from using it to tighten a sprinkler head, and the rest of it was just badly worn factory damage. You can of course use the two jaws to hold a larger knife, which I'll show you later on. So I worked my up through the stones. The stones it comes with ranging from ultra coarse to somewhat fine, the finest being 1000 grit. So yeah, there's not really a polishing grade or a stropping grade type stone or leather plate or anything like that. This is just getting you back to nice like factory type finished edges, and then I guess you can use other stuff afterwards. I worked my way up through them, and I don't know, I found it a little bit more of a laid back experience than using the other two. The longer stones, you can really kind of make more leisurely, longer passes with it. I did quite like this side lever to change the tension over it, completely reduce the slack and then completely locks the slack back on, which is a nice way of doing it. You tighten the screw at the back or untighten it and slide it up and down the I guess the angle finder, and I'll talk more about angle finding with this later on. It is a little bit different, that's why, and I still am yet to kind of figure it out myself. But yeah, everything about it is quite tight. You can lift the head up and down, like the eye hole, where the rod slides through to compensate for different stone thicknesses as well. So that's like a cool little feature too. The end result was pretty good. I needed to use the closest strop I had to make it a completely deburred edge. So I just used my work sharp, which is, by the way, probably about the best $50 you can spend on anything knife related. I use this thing so much. And yeah, it definitely brought about a very nice slicey paper shaving type edge. Very well done. So what I like about the system so far is the jaws and the grip system. They've stood out to me the most. It's all metal and metal. There is, I guess, a potential to scuff, or you know what? Yeah, stuff coatings. But it's about the stoutest attachment method I've seen. I like how you can widen it or narrow it or just use one. You can fit a kitchen knife in there, no worries at all, feeling like there's plenty of extra space in it. tightening it down using the Allen wrench makes it feel very sure. The aluminium has a slight flex to it, so it feels like it can accommodate most things. Even my big chungus of a TRC Apocalypse, which is over 1/4 inch thick, goes in there, no worries. So very accommodating in terms of things that it can hold, as long as they have some surface able to be grabbed onto. So usually knives have this flat shoulder at the top, and that's what you do. You grab onto like that, and then run the edge kind of parallel to the jaws edges. I love how the stones attach and reattach and come off. It's very effortless. You can tighten those black plastic holder bits a bit more as well, or you can loosen them up. I've got them quite tight here, which is why it looks like a bit of a struggle to get them in, but it's not really. It's just me fumbling for the camera. And the stones too are very big. So having a big stone means you can have more luxurious passes, and it means they should last a bit longer, providing their quality. So it's something I can't comment on yet, the quality of them. That'll be something that reveals itself over 30 or so sharpenings. This is it next to the KME and the work sharp. Look at the KME stone. It's about a third shorter. So about 66% as long as the TS Prof. So it's they're high quality stones, and they last a good long time. So hopefully, if the TS Profs last as long, the extra distance should make them very good stones indeed. They absolutely dwarf the little work sharp stone holder. So the general stoutness and weight of the TS Prof is very tangible. The other two almost feel a little bit rickety in comparison to them. The KME is more of a portable system, and it's designed for kind of very quick use, like quick attachment, detachment, and the work sharp's kind of the same. The work sharp's kind of like their version of the KME. The other two designs have a slight increase of ease in terms of assigning an angle. Because they hold the knife at kind of the 0 degree plane, you've only got the angled arm bar to worry about setting your angle, whereas the TS Prof has sort of two angles in place, making for, you need a bit more of a sextant or something to figure it out, what your actual working angle is. There's no angles on the side because obviously that wouldn't be, able to be for every knife either. So it's going to require just a little bit more math on my behalf to figure it out. See how they other two just knives held straight out, so it's just literally the angle on the arm. Whereas when both are in play, it's a little bit more work to do. So right now I'm just repeating factory or existing edges using the Sharpie trick or just using eyeballing. Just got to figure out how to work out those two lines, apart from turning the camera around. Anyway, guys, just an initial thought. So nothing, firm on this just yet. It does seem good. My initial impression is positive, and I'll be back with a few reviews over the coming weeks and months to sort of cement how I feel about the TS Prof. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next knife film.